The most Italian soda is a Pepperoni Pizza Italian soda. I recently tried a Pepperoni Pizza flavored soda from Perfy. They're mostly known for their high-end, low-sugar, fruit-flavored sodas, but this limited edition flavor is pretty memorable. It inspired me to imagine just how far a pepperoni pizza soda could go. There's an Italian-American feel to the branding, and as an Italian-American myself, I kept thinking that this could be pushed even more Italian-American. What if it was an Italian soda? Italian sodas aren't actually Italian, but they were created 100 years ago by the Italian-American-owned Torani Syrup Company in San Francisco. Close enough. To push the limits of an Italian soda, I would need to pepperoni pizza theme all of the key elements. I already had pepperoni pizza flavored soda, but I still needed to solve for the ice cubes, the cream, and even a garnish. Fortunately, I had a plan. Let me walk you through the steps. Nothing screams Italian like basil, so I used some of this chopped frozen basil as a basil-y base to my ice cubes. I placed one in each of these silicone molds, and then grabbed the next Italian thing I could think of, Italian giardiniera relish, which is really more of a Chicago thing, but I love giardiniera on pizza. I went heavy on the giardiniera, but I tried to limit the amount of olive oil that I was loading into the cubes. The key to a successful recipe is restraint. This mix of peppers, celery, carrots, and olives should really make the soda sing. This is just plain water, but I made sure to stir it long enough so that the basil would thaw and incorporate completely into the giardiniera. It's all in the details. Then, as a finishing touch, I added one fresh basil leaf to each cube. Que bella! This next step required some Parmesan cheese. I wanted to replace both the cream and the whipped cream with the Parmesan cheese foam, so I grated and grated and grated a hunk of Parmesan until I was left with a fluffy mound of savory snow. Make sure you grate this fresh for best results. From here, I heated about a cup of heavy whipping cream in a saucepan, but I recommend doing the full container. On medium heat, I whisked the grated Parmesan into the cream and stirred constantly until it was fully dissolved. Next, I added about a teaspoon of soy lecithin powder to help act as a stabilizer for the foam. I should have done this at the same time as the Parmesan, but I didn't know any better. It clumped up a bit, but I didn't want to risk reducing the cream any further. I wasn't too worried about the clumps, because I was going to strain the cream anyway, and this removed all of those remaining solids. I poured the mixture into an ISI canister and secured the lid. I twisted on one cartridge of nitrous oxide, then shook to dissolve into the cream. It seemed heavy, so I added a second cartridge just to be safe. I put the canister in the fridge to cool down until later. Several hours later, I was able to start assembling the Pepperoni Pizza Italian soda. To begin with, I painted the rim of my goblet with a thin marinara. This served as a binding agent for my red pepper flake and powdered Parmesan rim. I really love how this turned out, and I knew it would enhance the pizza parlor aesthetic I was going for. Next, I removed my basil and giardiniera ice cubes from the freezer and added them to the glass. They turned out absolutely perfect. Then, to bump up the savoriness of the soda, I decided to torch some fancy salami. The rendered pork fat should add some depth and smoothness to the drink, and who doesn't love crispy salami? I considered using pepperoni, but salami seemed to be a touch more elegant. So, I toasted and placed 3 pieces of the salami and was then ready to pour in the pepperoni pizza soda. I have another video that reviews the pepperoni pizza soda by itself, but to summarize, I'd say that it tastes somewhere between a LaCroix and a V8. The tomato paste is very prominent, but the salami, basil, and giardiniera here should bring out more of the subtleties of the pizza flavor. Now there's just one more key component to complete this Italian soda. That's right, it's the Parmesan foam. The chemistry experiment was a success, and the cream turned into a thick and savory foam, like a very sturdy Parmesan-flavored whipped cream. I layered it on the soda generously, knowing that some would melt into the liquid, and some would remain on top. This was really starting to come together. I wanted to pretty it up a bit with a modest shake of dried oregano straight over the top, and then one pepperoni Totino's pizza roll sliced and split over the rim of the glass. This is purely for aesthetic purposes and can be omitted if necessary. Same thing goes for the pepperoncini on the straw. And there you have it, pepperoni pizza Italian soda. Why don't we take a minute to admire our creation? Now, this is a matter of personal preference, but I like to mix up the cream in my Italian sodas pretty well so that the flavors can meld together. As I stirred the drink, the aromatics from the parmesan and oregano were absolutely filling the room. On one hand, I was bursting with excitement to finally sample the concoction, and on the other hand, I dreaded ruining such a thing of beauty. Oh well. I snuck up on the pepperoni pizza Italian soda as a way to role-play a serendipitous first encounter. I locked eyes on this gorgeous glass and began salivating in anticipation of that first sip. The creamy pink hue of the soda held so many mysteries, and it was finally time to reveal them to my heart. I brought the drink to my lips slowly and carefully, tilting the glass backward to my tongue and perfuming my nose with the floral herbs and unctuous fromage. The sparkling liquid broke through the cheese foam and flooded my mouth with a savory medley of tomato, salami grease, spice, and basil. I was stunned and overwhelmed with a multitude of sensations. I was confused, but that confusion slowly turned into adoration. It's a masterpiece. Nothing left to do now except dive in for another hit of this sweet, sweet exploration of pepperoni-flavored refreshment. Every sip was a journey through the romantic streets of East Jersey, and I had to remind myself to come back up for air. The more the ice melted, the more the flavor evolved, and I was truly intoxicated by the perfect rendering of a pepperoni pizza in liquid form. Wow. I couldn't let the garnish go to waste, so I scooped up a heaping portion of Parmesan foam with the pizza roll and luxuriated in the moment. Man, that's good stuff. As I approached the bottom of the glass, I noticed that it required a little more chewing than I had anticipated, but that just added to the experience. Buon appetito! If you enjoyed this video, please let me know in the comments. Throw me a like and subscribe to the channel. This was Daryl with Soda Fry, and just remember, stay crispy.